Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook, got Coach Dub with me. Justin Wells is dealing with some of the North Texas and East Texas weather, but we're going to chug right along with recruiting intel. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you head to Inside Texas. You can get 2 months of Inside Texas premium access for just $1 if you use the promo code IT1. That'll get you through official visit season. And that's what we're talking about today. You know, we talked a lot about the 2026s and 2027s. You and Justin did a great job of going over what the Texas Elite Camp was like on Sunday. But it's now time for the 2025s to take center stage. And, you know, as someone who has worked at a big city that's got some nice amenities
Yeah.
for some official visitors, what's it like when you bring in official visitors? What are you looking to show them both off the field and on the field when they make their trip to, let's say, the University of Texas?
Yeah, so I'll start with the on-campus visits, right? When you're on campus, a lot of things they've already seen. They've seen the facilities a ton of times. Now you probably get to spend more time with the academics and just show them the ins and out of the facilities. Some parts maybe they haven't seen, as far as majors. But then when you want to show them the city outside of school, man, that's where the fun happens, right? Like for the parents too now, like they get to go see all the top restaurants, everything Austin has to offer. It may be on a lake, it may be on a river, it may be on some boat. Who knows where they're going to be? So Austin has a ton to offer, and they're going to see all of it within a couple of days. So this is a fun, exciting time, and you really just want to get them immersed in Austin and the school itself.
You know, one thing I've noticed is during my travels in the Big 12, there's always one really nice hotel in these college towns. That's typically the official visit hotel.
Yeah.
Austin has a lot of those hotels. We've always seen the Instagram stories from the Four Seasons and places like that. And there's a lot of options for them. And that's where they like to host the players or families, go pick them up, bring them around to campus. Like you said, you see the city, you see the academic plan, you see the facilities, but who is doing that is just as important, of course. And there are just under 10, I believe, scheduled to make it in this weekend. We'll start with the commits, Jordan and Devin Coleman, and I'm guessing Isaiah Coleman will also be along, so the full triple threat. But Jordan and Devin, the two scholarship commits, offensive linemen from Cedar Hill, Texas, they had maybe thought about some other visits, but this is going to be their only one. When you're hosting commits, what is that process like? Obviously, there's a ton of familiarity, but you still want to show them a good time and remind them why they committed.
Yeah, all the things you've talked about, building a relationship with those guys. Now it's time to actually show them, right? You know what major they want to major in. Let's get them over there. Let's work with those academic people so that they meet the right people. You've spent all this time getting to know them, what they like, what their favorite foods are, what their favorite snacks are. Like, have all that stuff ready. Like, let's get them to their favorite restaurants. Let's get their parents to their favorite restaurants, wherever the case that may be, and show them the things that they're interested in. If it's gaming, if it's art, whatever it is, like let's set that up and get it all squared away. So when they're on there, they get the best visit possible with the red carpet rolled out everywhere they go. And so for a commit though, like I said, it's just almost confirming like, hey, everything I told you, Austin has to offer, Texas has to offer. Now it's time for me to show you and why you wanted to commit here.
Maybe I should have started with one of these questions, but obviously these June official visits started, I think, 4 years or so ago, where everyone in previous years you'd either show up for a game or you would show up maybe right before signing day, whether that was the early one or even the February one. So what's it like maybe on these non-game days? Is it just basically no bad news can really come about? You can't have a loss on a non-game weekend. What's it like for these June official visits?
Yeah, and the staff has more time in June. And during the season, during the game, you're so focused on the opponent that week. Like you're gonna have so much thing. You're gonna have things to do, right? Set up for the guys. But then now the coaches are just available to be with the parents, be with the players a lot more than they will during the season. And so you just get more one-on-one time and there's more things to do in the summer versus in the season, right? Everything is open. If you're into water or whatever the case may be, the weather's perfect. Like you just have so many opportunities to do so much more. And then the detail of planning is better during the summer, right? For the operation people who put this on together, like the whole recruiting department who has their hands involved in this, they have more time and more things to do things during the summer versus the season because you're trying to worry about who's coming because you got your unofficial guys who want to come to the game. You have so much going on during the season. When you have nothing else to focus on, it makes the official visit that much better.
Let's talk about another guy who's scheduled to come in. That is Josiah Sharma from Folsom, California. And I'm not sure, Charlie, if you've looked at the rankings for recruiting in the state of California in 2025. Sharma, I think, is a top 10 prospect. The next defensive lineman is number 60 something. And then the next defensive lineman after that is number 100 something. So a rare prospect to come from the state of California, be a top flight defensive lineman. That's why he's got schools from Washington under the former Arizona staff to Alabama under Kalen DeBoer, who used to be at Washington, and of course Texas is involved as well in trying to get his services. What do you see in Josiah, and does he fit into an ideal 2025 defensive line class?
Yeah, Josiah is like one of my favorite recruits in this class. Man, I loved him watching the tape. Like he can move. It's like he got the right name, Sugar Bear. Like he's a big dancing bear, but he's aggressive. He gets after it, man. I don't think there's anybody else like him as far as like height, size, the way he moves. I call him. I guess you can be like a mini Chris Jones, honestly. Like he's just a dominant force. And a guy that's in California. People call Austin mini California. Let's find some similarities way Austin lines up with California, so he feels at home when he comes to Austin, right? But as far as where he fits in 25 class, I think he's a must get. This is a guy that can make an impact as soon as he steps on campus. And I think he has that type of ability, and I think the whole staff will probably be involved in this one, and I think they should be to try to get him to think about Texas a little bit more.
A lot of our focus on defensive line recruiting has been obviously in state with guys like Zion Williams and even Chase Sims, DJ Sanders, out of state with Brandon Brown. But Sharma is just up there, is just as high up there in terms of importance. And I think that's why you're seeing Kalen DeBoer, even after he went from Seattle to Tuscaloosa, continue to pursue him. Every program has. We'll move on to the tight end position. That is with Kaleb Edwards. Staying on offense here. El Dorado Hills, Oak Ridge High School in California. Texas already has a tight end committed in Amari Winston out of Calhoun, Georgia. But at the same time, he's taking visits. He's been to Auburn recently. Texas wants Keoti Armstrong. They want Nick Townsend. I don't know if Kaleb Edwards fits in a 3 tight end class, but as far as a 2 tight end class goes, you definitely want him involved.
Yeah, and I think like these kids get insurance, right? They may commit to a school just to say, "Hey, I want to save my spot." Sometimes coaches can be like, in case we may not land a guy, like you can't stop recruiting anybody. Nobody has signed, so you have to recruit until the end of the whistle, right? Until the whistle to the end. So if this guy fits what you like, if you like him, what you see on tape, he has good size. I was able to see him at the spring game, and he's a tall, long kid, an athletic kid. So Coach Jeff Banks and the staff likes him. Like bring him in. Like let's see where the interest is from him, and then if Texas is interested in him, maybe he moves up the board. If depends on where they're at with the other guys, but we'll see. What he thinks after his visit.
I was trying to look up where El Dorado Hills and where Upland is. Not particularly close. Upland is in the LA area, and I think El Dorado Hills is a little bit closer to somewhere else. I'll double check that later. Still, California, another place for Jeff Banks to go and check out. Interesting to see how Kaleb Edwards fits into the 2025 tight end recruiting picture. Before we keep on going, got to give some thanks to our buddy Andre the Lawyer. Andre the Lawyer has been helping injured Texans all over the state of Texas. You can call him at 214-444-8808. He's a Longhorn. He's an Inside Texas member. He's going to give you a personalized text message number so you can text his team anytime and get info on your case. And no win, no pay. So car wreck, slip and fall, on-the-job injury, wrongful death, 18-wheeler accident, anything like that, call Andre the Lawyer at 214-444-8808. I think it's time to move to the defensive side of the ball. And one of the big ones that we heard, our buddy Steve Wiltfong over from the On3 National side, is Javion Hilson, a Florida State commit from Cocoa, Florida. He's a 6'3.5", 225-pound edge rusher, and he's the number 40 overall prospect. It honestly kind of feels like a big deal just to get him on campus, especially with Florida State being as successful as they've been and having good examples to go in the draft. But it's always good to get him on and try to see what you can do. And this is the type of player you definitely take that shot with.
Yeah, you get a highly recruited player as good as he is, like just to get him on campus and show, hey, what you can offer him, as a team and as a staff, like that's always a good thing. So, all you can always ask for is a chance, right? You never know how these things are going to go. He may walk away from Austin this weekend and say, man, this may be a place I want to, think about coming to. So you never just know. You just want to be in the race sometimes, and you never know what happens when you're in the race.
We'll go to cornerback. They're bringing in Kaleb Chester from Fort Bend Marshall, and this one remains up in the air a little bit. So head to Inside Texas for the latest intel on this one. They want to bring in Dorian Brew from Conroe. But let's start with Brew. He's a little bit higher ranked. It seems like a bunch of different schools are involved in this one between LSU, Ohio State, USC, Texas. Texas wants to get their shot this weekend. We'll be all over that on Inside Texas on the 6'1", thick 200-pound playmaker who can play corner, can probably play safety, but he's got the movement skills to play corner. Is one of the Longhorns' top priorities on defense in this 2025 class.
Yeah, just watching his film, watching him move, like he's a big physical corner, right? He can play the boundary, but he has the ability to play the field corner too. So I mean, it's a guy who understands his zone coverage very well. Like he has very good eyes. Mirrors the cornerback, mirrors the receivers pretty well. Gets his eyes in the right place, looking at the hips, so the receivers making in or out cuts. Like he's right there on the ball. And that size is able to go up and high point the football and play the football very well. So like he's a big physical corner. Somebody might remind you of maybe a Ryan Watts as far as size. Maybe not as tall, but yeah, big corner. And receivers get a little bigger. You need big corners to face them. So
Exactly. And a lot of pedigree. I think his mother is in the Ohio State Track Hall of Fame or something like that. A lot of different dynamics in
yeah.
this recruitment. But Texas is the place where he lives right now and just down the road. So that could be a big advantage to them. We'll go to the Southwest side, talk about Kaleb Chester a little bit. And I think you and I have watched this film and recognize like a lot of Fort Bend Marshall players, extremely athletic, but
Yeah.
you see him just right across from the receiver all the time. That's not a bad thing. He'll have to do more things at Texas, but you see why they trust him so much in his film and that he's athletic and can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, every time you think about Fort Bend Marshall, you just think about speed and quickness, man. That's they have a ton of that, and it's no different with this kid. And I think you can always teach a kid to play other things within the scheme. But one thing you cannot teach is speed and athleticism, and he has that. And I think with a guy like that, you can kind of get him to mirror and guard some of the quick, shifty, twitchy receivers, right? And you always need that. That's because every team is going to try to throw matchups at you. You can't have one corner look the same across the board. So if you can have multiple guys who can do multiple things like he can, like say Jade Barron, who can line up pretty much anywhere and show his athleticism, I think that's what you get in him.
Looking at On3's website, looks like he's got official visits set up after his win to Texas this weekend to Texas A&M and Arkansas. But the Longhorns, if you look at the RPM, just the overall algorithm and what it spits out, because there's no predictions in right now, 85.2% to Texas. We will keep going on the defensive side of the ball. I think we got one more guy to talk about, and that's Michael Terry, a 6'2.5", 211-pound athlete from Alamo Heights, one of the best athletes on any football field that he steps on, without a doubt. He's considering Texas, considering Oregon, considering Nebraska, considering Texas A&M, and this could be one that the Big Red has an upper hand in. Texas may not know what position he's going to play, but they're still going to give him an opportunity to come in this weekend, hear the Longhorns' best pitch, and see where the chips may fall.
Yeah, he's a guy that's good on both sides of the ball. Like, I know the staff likes him. He can play either side. Sometimes you just got to really decide what room is he going to go in, right? And I think the coaches have to decide that they're bringing him in for a reason. A very, very talented athlete who can play on both sides. You never know how he's going to grow and what he's going to be. We've seen guys play offense, running back, and things of that nature in high school, but then they get to college, they're playing defense, right? And you can never have too many athletic, physical guys who can play defense, who understands offense. So it just depends on where you want to put him, what room is he going to be in. I think Texas staff has to just figure that out, just like every other school does. And so I think it's good to have athletes, but then you just got to figure out where he's going to go play.
Of course, Terry has his preference. That's going to factor into it too, and we'll see what comes out from this weekend. Make sure for all the intel this weekend, you head to Inside Texas, get the premium scoop, use the promo code IT1. That'll get you 2 months of access for just $1. At this point, you'll be getting right up to the start of training camp. We know you're going to want to stick around after that. Always stick around on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. like our video, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 8,000 subscribers so we can keep bringing this awesome daily content every single day. Thank you to Andre the lawyer. Coach Dub, thank you so much. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.